Boom. According to StreamYard, we are live. According to Instagram, we are live. So we are live, people. What up, what up, what up? Y'all know what time it is. It is Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, and you are here for the Quick 30 with your host, DJ Agony, two-time ATL's hottest DJ, also known as Dr. Dope. And where our message here is simple. On the building. Big shouts out to everybody that came through for last week's Quick 30, about top 10 places for hip hop. Yo, yet another successful quick 30, man. But you know what? It could only be me with the help of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, I'm just some guy sitting in this room talking to his computer. So big shouts out to y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through, man, and kicking good shit with me. Also, this Friday, this Friday, all right. So this Friday on the Dope Show, you know what I'm saying? It's the show y'all been kind of waiting on for about a little close to a month, but it's hard doing it's hard doing these shows where it involves two people because actually three people because there's my schedule, then there's their schedule, and it's a lot going on, y'all. So the Dope Dating Show, the Dope Singles Show that y'all been waiting on, the part two, the Dope Singles, is this Friday. I'm not gonna tell who it is because the people are probably watching, and I don't want to look each other up. Nope, I want these answers to just come off the cuff. This time we are taking out the hookup feature. We just got two people in here answering questions from the opposite sex, and if they mess around and like each other, that's their business. You know what I'm saying? But I won't purposely be trying to push that envelope. Funny enough, we bring up dope singles. I got my boy Real J Scott in the building. Y'all remember, man? If y'all got that sweet tooth, go check him out, man. Corey's Heavenly Cakes, man. He got the cake. Holler at my boy. He got you covered. So big shouts out to my boy, the real J Scott. Also, he accompanied me last Saturday night. Big shouts out to Miss Shea Butter over at Chatted Up Radio and her 1 year anniversary. So we stopped by there, just kind of show face, show a little love right quick, because shit, I can't sit here and say out of a whole year I wasn't there for like 3 months of it. Yeah, I was part of that. So why not show my face and show a little love in the process? You know what I mean? Because hell, I was there. Shit, fuck it. And you can't say DJ Agony didn't rock it the 3 months he was there. You know what I'm saying? I got Miss Nay in the building. What's happening with you? Shouted. Ooh. Yeah, man. Big fun right there. Big fun. Good people's right there in the building. Um, so jumping into tonight's top 10 list, like I said, the last two have had a lot of attention, a lot of traction this week. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep that trend up. It ain't gonna be no different. So I am, when it comes to movies, I am a big movie junkie. And with certain movies, I feel like this. There's no reason you shouldn't have seen this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like these, we got the Take My Black Card game coming up in a couple of weeks. And some of these movie references, if y'all don't know them, yeah, your black card's getting took right here on the Dope Show. But I noticed that a lot of these movie references are going over people's heads, and I'm not talking about these, Gen Zers or what do they call this? I don't know. The new ones. What you call that? The new ones out here. I get it. They ain't seen Friday because when Friday came out, their parents hadn't even met. Totally understand. But when you in your 30s and 40s and you ain't seen Friday, I got problems with that. And so going piggybacking off a conversation I had last week, because a lot of these quick 30s really just start with conversations. And I was just like, you know what? I could come up with 10 reasons for that right now. And then boom. Wednesday night, y'all in here with me rocking on the quick 30. So tonight's quick 30, I had to break it up and we're gonna get the rest of it as the shows progress because there's plenty of movies. But this week's episode is top 10 essential black movies of the 90s. We're just gonna do the 90s this time because if I did essential black movies, god damn, we'd have to go all the way back from Imitations of Life to like we'd be all over the place. So we hit from the 40s and then, God forbid we probably bring up the Mac or something. Like it's too many movies. So I gotta break them up into decades. So with that, top 10 essential black movies of the 1990s. I'm gonna go ahead and get it started off with number 10, Above the Rim. Now, little known fact about DJ Agony, I actually don't like this movie. Um I didn't really think it flowed in jail as a good story. I just thought it was a series of events that just kind of ran into each other. But the saving grace for this movie was two reasons. One, the soundtrack. Anybody from the 90s that lived or grew up through the 90s know that that Above the Rim soundtrack is was and probably still one of the best movie soundtracks ever. Period. It just happened like that. And two, Tupac was in it. If you ever seen a movie in the 90s and Tupac was in it, 10 times out of two, he stole the movie. You remember Tupac being in it, and then some other stuff happened, and it's just like, oh yeah, the movie with Tupac. I remember that now. I mean, that's kind of how the 90s worked. But got Lucinda in the building. What's happening with you shouting? So yeah, like I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Above the Rim per se, but it kind of goes on that list. Like I said, one, Pac was in it, and two, the soundtrack was ghetto gold. I mean, Death Row laced that soundtrack. Like it was, there's no way around it. I mean, you have Regulator. Regulator is still a all time classic hit, man. Regulator definitely has to fall in top 25 classic hits of all time. It just was. They just do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, number 10, Above the Rim. Number nine, oh my god, number nine is a cult classic. And I just found out recently, y'all. I was like a few hours ago, years old, when I found out they're doing a remake of number nine. Not sure how I feel about that. Number nine is House Party. I saw a trailer earlier where these two kids are cleaning up LeBron James's house. And then next thing you know, they get the idea somewhere in that that says, hey, let's throw a party in it. And they're gonna throw a party at LeBron James's house and call it House Party. Meanwhile, back in 1990, right, the trailer told me absolutely nothing. G, absolutely, I got nothing. So back in 1990, good time period in life. There was a movie with Kid and Play, and Full Force MDs, and Robin Harris, and AJ Johnson, and Tisha Campbell, and Martin Lawrence, and anybody else I'm probably forgetting. Called House Party. Well, I mean, and the story just kind of worked. You want to go to your friend party, you done got in trouble in school, pops tell you no, and you just like, you know what? I just deal with it how I deal with it. I'm sneaking out and I'm going to this party. And he did. And they had a bomb time. It was a crazy night. You know what I'm saying? He goes to jail. My question is though, one, this party looked like it was in the middle of the week, y'all. Back in the day, folks was for real throwing house parties like that and getting down like that on a Wednesday, Thursday. Because I swear this looked like the middle of the week. It's kind of hard to tell, but it doesn't kind of give no inclinations that it's the weekend. One, the day of the party, he actually went to school. Now it could have been Friday, could have been a Friday, but it's kind of hard to tell. Two, kid goes to jail in that movie. Where did Play, Bilal, Shireen, and Sydney get bail money from? Where they get bail money from? Ain't nobody had no job. Their job was to go to high school. We got my boy Shells in the building. What's happening with you, bro? But yeah. So where did they get? Where did they get bail money to get kid out of jail? Who knows? Who knows? But yo, House Party, cult classic, the one from 1990, not this one that's coming out in January. I have no idea. Don't ask. Don't ask. Don't ask. Moving on to number eight. Number eight is one of those. It's one of those little known gems, but it's probably one of my favorite movies. Like it goes high on my list. It goes very high on my list. And this movie also actually no it didn't. Not yet. We ain't gonna jump that bridge yet. But this movie is one of those ones when Lawrence Fishburne was Larry. Yeah, we're going back that far. Right. 1992 Deep Cover. Now, a lot of people haven't seen this movie. It's like one of those things. Like I said, it's a, it's a, it's a gem. You just have to like watch it and be like, oh wow, I've missed out. But yeah, so he goes undercover and he gets so caught up in the life undercover that part way through the movie, you forget he's a cop. He forget he's a cop. He even made a statement in the movie, probably one of the coldest lines of the movie, when he said, "I used to be a police officer pretending to be a drug dealer. Now I'm a drug dealer pretending to be a police officer." Like he had totally gone off the rails. This is a guy who had never drank before, and then by the end of the movie, he's snouting powder. That happened, y'all. So, yo, big shouts out to Lawrence Fishburne. He killed that role. It was a bomb ass movie. It had what's the tall Jewish guy name? Jeff Goldblum. Had Jeff Goldblum in it. Um, Clarence Williams the third is in it. God rest his soul. R.I.P. Clarence Williams the third. Um, and he, looking at my list, he actually pops up a couple of times on this list. So, yo, matter of fact, Clarence Williams the third is on this list 3 times, yo. Just follow my lead on this one. That's one right there. The mess around with this quick 30 thing. Clarence Williams the third might get his own countdown. Like so serious. Cornbread Earl and me. We're not going that far back, dude. Like I said, this is a countdown from the 90s. You don't went back 20 years. That's the 70s. But in my top 10 essential black movies of the 70s, Cornbread Earl and Me will probably be on the list. If nothing else, for Lawrence Fishburne out in the streets yelling in the rain, they killed Cornbread! Ghetto gold. Ghetto gold. If you have not seen Cornbread Earl and Me, go watch that movie, catch up before I get to the 70s countdown, because, yeah, that's a good one. All right. So moving on to number 7, and the second movie with Clarence Williams the third in it, Tales from the Hood. I love this movie. It's like, when have we ever had a black Halloween movie? And if anybody in this chat, no, chat's over here. If anybody in this chat says Blackula, I got to figure out how to remove you from the chat, but do not say Blackula. I would rather you say JD's Revenge than say Blackula. All right, we're moving on. But yeah, Tales from the Hood. And one of the things about this movie, too, if you really pay attention to it, the movie's not just about horror. It's dealing with a lot of social commentary at the time. We got a story on police brutality. We got a story on racist politicians. We got a story on child abuse. We got a story on gang banging and redemption. When have this stopped being a problem in the black community? When? Like, when have this has never stopped being a problem in the black community? And these are problems that, there are some of us who face this every day. So with that being said, you take all these social commentaries from the hood and then you kind of wrap a Halloween story around it. You got Tales from the Hood. And you got Clarence Williams the third in it. And he's awesome. He's an all-star. Vampire in Brooklyn. Big shouts out to Robert in the building. What's happening with your shoulder? Vampire in Brooklyn. Yeah, we're gonna move on from that one. I don't know what to say about Vampire in Brooklyn. Leprechaun in the Hood. God damn it, boy. This is what I need you to do. You are not allowed to watch BET on a Friday night ever again, because that's where you watch movies like Leprechaun in the Hood. And do y'all realize that Leprechaun in the Hood actually has a sequel? Yeah, there's actually two of them. That movie's so bad they made two. How, why, I don't know. However, there is a Leprechaun in the Hood too. So if you really want to rot some brain cells, go find that and watch it. And don't report back to the dope show. We don't do that here. We don't allow that here. Not at all. So yeah, we were at number 7, Tales from the Hood. Number 6. Now, number 6 isn't necessarily a black movie, because the star of it is white, and a lot of the supporting actors are white too. But once again, one of the things I love about black people, we take movies and we kind of make them ours. Like, if you notice in Scarface, there was not a black person in that movie. There was not a one black person in that movie. However, black people have taken Scarface and made it ours. How and why, I don't know necessarily. Am I complaining? Absolutely not. So this movie wasn't necessarily a black movie, but it's our black movie. And plus, you see two actors in this movie that, unless you can correct me, I've never seen before in any other movie. That's number 6 is King of New York. Yeah, Christopher Walken, Frank White, gangster shit, and all that. But if anybody in the chat right now can tell me, have they ever seen Lawrence Fishburne and Wesley Snipes in the same movie outside of King of New York? God damn it, boy. First off, Scarface locked up in juvie. Man, look. Hey, and it helped, and I bet you it helped the time go by, because that's a 3-hour movie. So yeah, you got 3 hours out the way. But yeah, anybody can tell me where they've ever seen Wesley Snipes and Lawrence Fishburne in the same movie. I don't think it's ever happened again, to be honest. But if it has, yo, that's what the chat's for. Let me know. King of New York was, yet another gangster movie set in New York, and one of the things about it, it was the story about Frank White, played by Christopher Walken. He gets out of jail and he wants his streets back. And you got the Italians over here doing what they do. You got some Asian cats over here doing what they do, and he like, yeah, that's well and good, but yeah, y'all, what was the famous line? Y'all got fat while I was locked away. Like y'all was eating good, but now I want that back. And so he's kind of on a mission to get his streets back. I mean, it ends like most gangster movies end. I'm not gonna really give the ending away, but yeah, we're talking about a movie made in 1990 that had Lawrence Fishburne and Wesley Snipes in it at the same time. I to this day I'm thinking hard. I cannot think of another movie that had those two very very high on the scale black actors in it at one time. I can't think of one. Not even a Spike Lee movie. And Spike Lee's good for throwing the brothers together, but no. Oh, there you go. What up, Spud? Got my nephew in the building. What up? What up? What up, boy? We're doing top ten essential black movies of the '90s. So you've only missed six. Jump on in. We at the top five right now. The top five now. Number five, I'm biased on. I'll just say it. I'm biased. I put this movie on there because it is my favorite movie. It is flooded with one-liners. I remember when the movie came out. I went to the movies every Friday for like 3 weeks in a row to watch this movie. It is just that good of a movie to me. Like I loved every bit of it. You got your action, you got your comedy, you got your one liners. You got. I mean, I would say it was a plot twist, but after you've watched it, the plot twist is gone. But so what? Who cares? Still a great movie. So like whatever. Lil XENT, what's happening with your shout? I ain't seen her you in a minute. What's going on with your salute? Um, so number five goes to Low Down Dirty Shame. It is that movie, man. For me, that is that movie. That's that movie when I'm not in the best of moods, I can put it in and watch it. If I feel like laughing, I can put it in and watch it. You know what I'm saying? If I want to see a little action to go along with it, I can put it in and watch it. Sally Richardson was in it, and she was fine. Put it in and watch it. Young Jada Pickett was in it. Yeah, yeah, that Jada. Put it in and watch it. Okay. All right, my people, little expert up in Michigan doing a thing. Hey, man, look, salute, man. Hey, when you get back, we'll be here. But yeah, nonetheless, you got a young Jada Pickett in it, and she was fine. And then, like, you got the one liner of one liners was Wayman, like Wayman and Shane back and forth and at the breakfast table. Ghetto gold, man. I'm telling you. Low Down Dirty Shame. You can't not like this movie. Like, I think like if you say you don't like Low Down Dirty Shame, like somebody will magically come out and beat you up or something. Like they hit you in the reels 2 times. Peaches and Shane's. Man, saw it in theaters. I saw it at South DeKalb movie theater every Friday faithfully. Like you'd have thought I was in the movie every week. I was trying to go see that movie. Dead serious. I wasn't going to the movies. I was going to go see Low Down Dirty Shame. So that is number five, man. Number four. Now, number four, I had to split. Here's why I split number four. It's because uh yeah, Wayman was the gay guy. Um, but the reason why I split number four because these were both great movies, well acted, and they both had similar premises. So number four is 1993's Sugar Hill and 1994's Jason Leary. Now, let me explain. So, big shouts out to Miss Richards in the building. What's happening with your shoulder? So, with Sugar Hill and Jason's Lyric, the reason why they share number four in space, one because I only have 10 slots and I like both of these movies, but also similar premise. We got a brother who's kind of growing weary of the mundane life he's living in that area, and he wants out. With Sugar Hill, it was a brother in the drug game. With Jason's Lyric, he just wanted to get out of Texas. Well, he wanted to get out of that part of Texas. He wanted to get out of the hood. You know what I'm saying? They in, I want to say they in Fifth Ward, Houston. He wants to get out the wards. You know what I'm saying? And so in the midst of them trying to work their way out, they both meet a woman. In in Sugar Hill, it was what was that was Teresa Randell. And Jason's Lyric, Jada Pickett. Yeah, she's jumping all over this list too. And so in the midst of this, they both have a brother that they don't want to leave this said brother, but they have to do what's best for themselves. You totally understand. I don't want to leave my brother here because if I leave my brother, God knows what's gonna happen to him. Nobody's gonna look after him. Nobody's gonna take care of him. But if I stay, I'm stuck here. And so both brothers are stuck with this conflict to where it's the woman that they love and the life they want to have versus the brother that they love and the life that they're used to. Both of them are stuck in this conflict. Both of them try to get out. It's a mess, and them both trying to get out. If you have not seen either one of these movies, you need to go do that right now. Like, well, right after the quick 30 is over. Don't worry, this one will not stretch out to an hour this week, people. I promise you, I'm already at number three. But so yeah, this one won't stretch out to an hour. I promise you. Number three, man, we going into social commentary, and I mean, just racism at a boiling point. We got to get into higher learning. John Singleton's 1995 higher learning. Higher learning. It was a little more than just racism. I mean, because we deal with the issue of classism, sexism. I mean, a young lady gets raped in this movie, and then she has an issue. She has an issue with identity, trying to fit in, and then she's trying to figure out who the hell she is by the end of the movie. She's totally lost. So, I mean, that's not good. Then you got, like I said, you got issues of rape. You got issues of just a lack of direction from college students. And anybody ever been to college, lived in the dorms, or just lived at college? It's a whole experience of just trying to figure out. You spent the 4 years of high school trying to, growing up from a kid to a young adult, but now you're at this young adult stage trying to figure out what kind of adult are you going to be in these upcoming 4 years. And you spend those times trying to shape your life in those years, but at the same time, you're still young too. Yeah, I think. I mean, I was a freshman in college at 17 years old. So at 17, most people 18, some people 16, 16, 17, 18. You got to make adult life decisions about where your life's going at that time. And for lack of a better term, you don't know. You have no fucking idea. But yeah, so with higher learning, we got that. Ice Cube killed it. Um, Ice Cube, Busta Rhymes. I mean, Omar Epps and Omar Epps in college movies. I don't really know what to say about that dude, but he was there. And Tyra Banks was in that. She was fine. Oh my god, he's a love Tyra Banks back in the day. Word is bond, man. So, yeah, number three, higher learning. Number two, I had to split them up, and they had to share a space just because I didn't want to make a list full of hood movies. It was so easy. Matter of fact, there'll probably be a quick 30 of just hood movies, top 10 hood movies. It's easy. I could make a list of that. You know what I'm saying? A quick 10 list. So rather than to keep this list from looking like that, I put these two movies in the same place. 1991, Boys in the Hood. 1993, Minister Society. To be honest, basically they are what you think they are. They are movies set in South Central LA. Well, I don't say Boys in the Hood was in South Central, Men's Society was in Watts. And yeah, it's all about just living in the hood, trying to make it day to day, and then hopefully getting out. And if you've seen the movies, you've seen what happened. I told you, Low Down Dirty Shade had probably some of the best one-liners, period, bar none. Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. You know what? There's going to be a list for parodies, and that one's definitely going to go high on that list because Don't Be a Menace was. I can't even sit here and say that movie wasn't damn funny. The Wayans brothers have truly, truly wrote the book on how to do a parody. And if you don't believe me, go back to Hollywood Shuffle, go back to Go back to Hollywood Shuffle and go back to I'm gonna get you sucker. Parody movies are Keenan's thing. That's what he does. If you didn't grow up watching In Living Color, then you really have no idea. Um can't go wrong with either two dope movies. They really are dope movies. Dope, sealed, stamped, and certified. And that not just because I'm wearing the shirt. But yeah, so they had to share a spot. Now, an honorable mention, which was supposed to be on the list, and I had to leave it off. Um, and I really hate that I had to leave it off. Truthfully, it could be on its own list because top 10 essential black movies of the '90s. Can you really just come up with 10? Isn't there gonna be like a 10.2? More than likely, highly likely. So y'all be on the lookout just in case I do this list again. But the honorable mention, Boomerang. Boomerang had a lot more depth than people gave it credit for. Now, if you think about the science of a boomerang, it's meant to go and come back, right? It's kind of like taking something that you know and you flip it and makes it a boomerang. Boomerang effect. So we have a movie and a time with hood movies because you got to think Boomerang came out in between Boys in the Hood and Mr. Society. Boys in the Hood was 91, Mr. Society was 93. Boomerang actually came out at 92. And with Boomerang, in the midst of all the hood movies, you take three successful black men. Those guys were successful in their career field. Yes, ma'am. My favorite boomerang. Damn right, that was a great one. Two snaps in a circle. Boy, Keenan was pushing the envelope back then, man. But going into Boomerang, we're taking three successful black men, which is so off the beaten path of the narrative that's going on at the time, which is all black men were in hood movies. Well, that's the only thing we could make. Successful corporate, and they work for a company to where if you pay attention to this company, who was in charge? Most corporate America companies are ran by white men. But starting with the whole ad movement of bringing in Strong J, Lady Eloise products, and even Robin Givens, who was the GM of Lady Eloise's business, instead of it being everything ran by white men, the there were three black women in very heavy pivotal positions in that company. Once again, the boomerang effect. And so we take a dude, Marcus Graham. He's a whole player out here. You know what I'm saying? He told his whole lie about losing his dog in the park to get old girl to come over, get her in the bed, smash, and then doesn't like her feet. Are you serious? First of all, that was Layla Roshan. She was fine back in the 90s. And you looking at her feet? Man, I got a drawer full of socks. I don't care. But nonetheless, Marcus Graham, he was a player. He could do stuff like that because he was a player. And you know what I'm saying? And as far as his career goes, he was a pick at the time. Then Kirby, Curb, Curbster. So you look at how the game got flipped on him to where now you not only work for black women in a field that's normally dominated by men, particularly white men, but then the same game you out here running, you got it ran on you by a woman. Yeah, that happened to you, dude. That happened to you, Marcus Graham. So, Boomerang, classic movie, great player story, and then at the end he finally gets it right and he dates Holly Berry and they gonna be for real boyfriend girlfriend and hold hands and he's not gonna be a dog no more because they never made a sequel. So good job, get out where you can. Now going back through the top 10 list before I hit number one, number 10 Above the Rim, number 9 House Party, number 8 Deep Cover, number 7 Tales from the Hood, number 6 King of New York, number 5 Low Down Dirty Shame, number 4 Sugar Hill / Jason's Lyric, they share the spot, Number three, Higher Learning. Number two, Boys in the Hood slash Mr. Society. Hood movies gotta have their own spot too. And hold on, I got a comment before I get to number one. Like Boomerang, because it was a black movie per se. It was like black people being in higher power positions was just the norm. True, and that was one of the things I spoke on. Like my that was my favorite thing. Place all those characters with white folks, it would still be believable. I mean, you replace it with white folks, you probably end up with something like The Devil Wears Prada or something. I don't know. I think I seen that movie once, but nonetheless, you see enough movies with white people in positions of corporate control. Damn it, Boomerang said no. Black people could be ad execs and fucking CEOs too. You know what I'm saying? I got my boy Cutter Codeine in the building. What's down with you, man? Jumping into number one right quick. Number one, y'all should have knew what number one was. What is the all-time quotable comedy of the 90s? 1995, Friday. Of course you knew it was Friday. I know y'all knew it was Friday. Y'all knew it was Friday, didn't you? Y'all knew it was Friday. I ain't have to say that too many times. Y'all knew. Y'all knew. Y'all didn't know, did y'all? Y'all knew. Of course you knew. Man, look, Friday is probably the most quotable movie ever made. I'm talking about like at this point, if your name is Felicia, people are gonna tell you bye for no reason, especially if you say something stupid. Craig, I need to borrow your VCR to double tape. It's the Mac. But yeah, so when he clapped, I was like, more power. Yeah, I mean, look, he thought he was making a business move. He didn't realize that lady was just a figurehead of the company. He thought that was he thought he was making a business move. He thought it was a power play. Yeah, nah, not even close. But yeah, Mid Parker, I'm telling you, you can't see nobody with a last name Parker and they walk by, hey, Mid Parker. Especially if she fine. Yeah, no, it's just not gonna happen. Right, right. In the middle of South Central LA, we got Two Live Crew bumping to the damn radio. I love it. And one of the things the real Jay Scott reminded me on a few weeks back when I did top 10 movie soundtracks of the 90s. I forgot Friday. That soundtrack was ghetto go. Pretty much damn near anything on this list had a good soundtrack. We go back to Above the Rim, House Party, Tales from the Hood, Low Down Dirty Shame, Jason's Lyric, Higher Learning, Boys in the Hood, Mrs. Society, Friday, Boomerang. Everything on this list had a banging ass soundtrack. Damn near everything on this list. So if you have not heard these soundtracks, people, rewind back to Quick 30, watch it again, write down the names of the movies, go find the soundtracks. I'm pretty sure they're on Apple Music or some other streaming service. If not, look, go old school. Go find the CD somewhere. I'm sure look, you can go on Amazon and find the CDs, I'm sure. Or if you want to be a collector, like, go get the vinyl. Yes, indeed, man. But yo, Friday, number one movie of the night, number one essential black movie of the 90s. And that's probably gonna be just part one of a list because there are movies that are missing. Clearly, there are movies missing. And I'm sure y'all up here like, yo, what happened to what's today? Look, it's gonna be a part two of this list. Also, there are gonna be some movies that I'm gonna throw on a list, on a top 10 list of just some of my how I would say overrated black movies. Some of those movies that say, "Oh man, you're not black if you watch this." Well, damn it, look, yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, it's some movies out there like that, y'all. Just because it's black don't mean DJ Agony is co-signing there. Big shouts out to everybody who stopped into the quick 30 to kick good shit with me, yo. Appreciate y'all, man. I got my nephew Spud King in the building. I got Jones Heavenly Cakes in the building, man. Yo, like I said, man, if y'all for all your sweet tooth needs, man. Cakes, muffins, and mini bunts. Go holler at my boy Jones, man. That's his app right there. Go holler at him, follow him. I got Lucinda in the building. I got Chris Shells in the building, man. Robin is in the building, man. I got some of everybody, man. Miss Richard is up in here as well. Yo, appreciate y'all for coming out, kicking good shit with me on the quick 30. There will be a dope show this Friday. Like I said, we are jumping into dope singles this Friday. It is See, I told you, quotable ass movie. Like we can sit here and it could be another hour long show of just quoting Friday. But yo, it's one of those things, man. Dope singles is going down this Friday. So if you want to just see two single people talk that good shit as about, what the ins and the outs of the dating scene, particularly that dating scene after 30, after 30 something, after 35. Once we start tapping that 40, what the dating scene looks like, yo, stop through here this Friday, man, and kick good shit with me, DJ Agony. Like I said, I won't tell you who's gonna be here yet because, well, I don't want them two people to look each other. I don't want them to know. I want to just be a blind situation. I'm not prepping nobody with the questions. I got the questions. See the questions? They're actually right here in my hand. But I'm not gonna tell them the questions. They're gonna find out the questions on Friday. Y'all gonna find out the questions on Friday. So that means y'all need to tune in 8 o'clock this Friday right here on Facebook at my personal page, on Facebook at the Dope page, Dope Enterprise, on YouTube at Dope Enterprise. So you got three different ways to watch Friday. So there's no excuse. You need to be sitting right here, 8 o'clock, kicking good shit with me, the two-time ATL's hottest DJ, the God DJ Agony. And I'm gonna end this show like I end every other show. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. I am DJ Agony. Friday is awesome. Friday night, you need to be here with me, and I'm out. Peace.